Every single year, for some godforsaken reason, me and my brother end up with a criminal on his birthday. I really don't even know how to explain this other than to explain it and give you a story time. Sure, on my brother's birthday, he called me. He's like, yo, sis, what are you doing? Like, we want to get lit. And I'm like, Mama's in jail. You want to come help me bail her out? So he helped me bail her out. That was pretty cool. My mom had a great mugshot. Very proud of her for that. This year, he calls me and he says, hey, sis, it's my birthday tomorrow. I'm like, what do you want? What do you want me to do for you, Shaquan? He tells me, hey, do you mind bringing me to get this girl and then bringing me home with her? Because, you know, I want something, you know, a little something for my birthday. I'm like, oh my God. Ultimately, I'm a great friend. So I was like, you know what? Sure. Where is she at? Where do you want me to go get her? Where is she at? Sends me an address an hour away. And I'm like, Shaquan, no shot. Like, you will be compensated for your effort to making this a great birthday for me. I can't with him. I'm like, you know what? It's your birthday. This is your birthday present. I will waste my time at 8 o'clock at night to go get this girl and bring her home with you. Like, whatever. Get there and the girl gets in the car and she has bunny ears on. And I'm like, okay, purr. Like, she's a little cutesy, like pootsy poo. She starts talking and she's like super normal. I'm like, you know what? This girl is cool. Like, good job, Shaquan. I'm so proud of you. Like, this is awesome for you. No. Turns out that this girl was actually drunk and she starts talking about how she has to go to Washington, D.C. in August. I'm like, oh, Washington, D.C., Lincoln Monument. Like, purr, I love a little Lincoln Monument. Her and him are sitting in the back seat. So I can't really hear everything that's going on because I'm not trying to hear everything that's going on. But I quickly become under the impression that she has to go there for some sort of sentencing. Criminal sentencing, no biggie. I'm not one to judge. I'm thinking like it could be a million things. Like, who even cares? Like, whatever. Everyone has their own story. I've had a warrant out for my arrest before. So then she starts telling me like a story about how she cursed out this one girl at McDonald's like crazy, like cursed her out, threatened to beat her up, all because they messed up her order. And immediately I'm like, you know what? This girl might be a little bit unstable. My biggest rule with Shaquan is do not get a girl pregnant. Not right now. You are not ready. Like, I always am harping at him to not get a girl pregnant. He's not ready. Ultimately, I kind of liked her. She was kind of cool, but I could tell that he was not vibing because she was just like a little bit unstable. I call him the next morning to get the rundown and I'm just like, hey, how'd it go? I could tell you weren't really feeling it. And he's like, yeah, about that. You know how she said she has sentencing in August? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yeah, so she may actually be going to jail because, you know, she shot both her baby daddies and shot up their house. I'm immediately like, you said what? She did what? Immediately, it all just made sense because the way she talked about the girl at McDonald's was just like, it really got to her. It really got to her. This is not the first time we've spent his birthday with someone who has felony charges. And I doubt it will be the last. So thank you, Shaquan, for always making my life so interesting. I love you to death. Happy birthday. The thing about me is I am a woman before I'm anything else. You want to complain to me about your man for the 4,000th time, even though you know he treats you like shit? I'm here to listen, babe. I'm not going to tell you you're dumb. I'm just going to listen. You want to message me asking me if your man's been in my phone? I'm going to tell you whether or not he has been. I'm not going to tell you you're insecure and scream at you and flip out. Like, no. That being said, a couple years ago, a girl messaged me asking if she could use my pictures as a catfish so that she could see if her man was like cheating on her. Immediately, I was kind of here for the drama. So I was like, yeah, use all my pictures. Use my name if you want. Like, you're an idiot, Emily. You have a boyfriend. Also, he's gonna genuinely think it's you. She like did exactly that. She made an account with my name and my pictures and was like messaging her boyfriend off of it. And he was obviously messaging back. I don't know. I guess I kind of just assumed like after she'd gotten what she wanted, like him messaging back and her being able to prove that he's a lying, cheating asshole, she would like get off the account. Instead, she used it to bully people, and I started getting messages from people's parents. Like, hey, I don't know if this is you or not, but this is like your account. It says your name and your pictures, and you're like bullying my child. And I was like, no, I'm not. I just was like, hey, could you like delete your account? They're saying like you're bullying people off of this account with my face and name attached to it. Like, I just really don't want to get like sued or in jail or like look like an asshole. He was like, oh yeah, I'm so sorry. I didn't really think about that. I'm like, girl, what the hell? Like, what the hell? Okay, well, a couple weeks go by and I get a message from her man. We'll call him Joshua. Hi, Joshua. Hi, Joshua. He's like, hey, I don't know if you are the person who runs this account, but like we've been talking for weeks. And like, do you know who I am? And I'm like, this is sick. This is actually sick. I'm kind of conflicted because I'm like, do I rat her out that she's the one on this account? Did she not tell him that she's the one on this account? Did she not break up with him? So I unblocked this girl and I message her again and I'm like, did you even know this guy? Because he thinks that we're like talking. She blocks me. Immediately blocks me. So I'm like, you know what? I am not protecting this chick anymore. Like, I'm not protecting you anymore. I'm telling him what the hell is good. And I told him like the whole situation. I'm like, basically your girlfriend wanted to use my pictures to be able to catfish you and see if you were a cheater. And then she was going to delete the account. And he's like, I haven't had a girlfriend in 2 years. I'm just like, oh, so that's like beautiful, perfect, and amazing. Do you know her by any chance? Like, is this a person you know? And then I tell him her name. And it was his ex-girlfriend. She was down bad. Ladies, while I love all of you and you're all beautiful, perfect, amazing angels, please don't ever do that. Ultimately, she used my name and face to bully people and catfish her ex-boyfriend. She stopped using the account, but it is still up, so you can find it.
Back from Tulum, had a phone call with my mother, maybe a 20-minute phone call this morning, and she managed to just like irritate my soul a little bit. Beauty filter was on and that felt weird for me. It's like, babes, your skin doesn't look that good. Mind you, my mom is like, she was like, don't go to Mexico, like don't go. Like she's like, I hate when you travel, I hate it so much. I'm there, the bitch never texts me. Does not even text me once to check in on me. I'm like, okay, that's like a really weird thing for a woman who was like so worried that I was going to Mexico. And when she did text me, want to know what the fuck she said? She goes, your friend Nicole is so pretty. I'm like, yeah, like she's gorgeous, but like you could have asked me how my trip, like even anything. She's just like, Nicole is so gorgeous. And I'm like, yeah, mom, she is. But like, I'm safe. Like I made it to Tulum. But this morning I was telling my mom, I was like, yeah, I'm going to LA May 1st through the 8th, which like I'm going to LA. So like, okay, what I meant by that was if you're a photographer, you want to shoot, you know I'm down. Like, let's hang when I'm in LA. Like, let me know I haven't been to LA in years, like since I lived there briefly. Ugh, dark time. But I told her that and she's like, you should really bring your sister with you. Like Sissy, she's like, you should really bring Sissy with you. I'm like, why the fuck would I bring Sissy to LA with me? I'm going for like work stuff. And she was like, I don't know, I just think it'd be good like if you brought your sister. And I'm like, mom, this is not like I'm bringing Sissy. Like, why is it making it feel like I'm 12 years old and I have to bring Sissy to the sleepover? And I told Sissy that and she's like, I don't want to go to LA. I'm like, well, mom thinks I need to fucking bring you. And she's like, no, I'm not going to LA. And this morning she has a group chat of my sister and like my cousins and I, and she sends motivational quotes every morning. I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't on mute. Yeah, I muted the fucking group chat because she sends like 35 Pinterest quotes a day, and I'm like, I just can't deal. And like, I'm an honest ass bitch about it. I'm like, mom, like I just like can't fucking deal with like 35 Pinterest quotes at 7 a.m. Like that's just not my vibe. Really, mom? Like I'm good. But she got mad at me this morning and she was like, Olivia, like I put those in there for you because like those are you. Like those quotes just remind me so much of you. And like nobody, like everyone else responds and you don't respond. I go, mom, well, I don't give a fuck. She was like, Olivia, that's so disrespectful. I'm like, mom, then just send them directly to me. Like, why are we putting them in a group chat of like 50 people and it's just about me? Like send it directly to me. Also a little bit rude for everybody else in the group chat. And they're going to watch this TikTok and be like, what the fuck, Dina? Like, why are you just like, these are just about Livy. And they're like, just like Michael Jordan quotes too. And I'm like, okay, like why do I remind you of Michael Jordan? Like, babe, what about me is giving Michael fucking Jordan? You guys are like, where's the green stuff? Where's the green stuff? I'm doing like a no makeup look because I'm so gorgeously tan from Tulum that like, she did send me a very funny meme about like getting fucked earlier this week. My mother did. Like, it's so absurd. And I put it on my Instagram story and she got so mad. She was like, Olivia, you cannot post these things on your Instagram story. So I'm going to post it again for you guys to go look. So like, go like, it's actually really funny because it's like, your mother sent you this? It's like, that was just crazy. But I'm back from Tulum and she's blowing my phone up.
Recently, we had a birthday party for my son. He invited some of his classmates and our neighbor's kid who he's close with. One of them was a 12-year-old boy who brought a doll-type thing which glowed and made noises if you pressed a button. We opened the present later after the party, and even though my son was happy to receive it, I noticed that the toy had a cracked shoulder. The next day, when the boy came to play with my son and the other kids, I asked him who brought the gift, and he said he did. I showed him the broken part and lightly scolded him. I simply told him that if he was going to spend money buying something, he should have checked the thing. I gave it back to him and told him to ask the store to replace it since it's broken. However, later that evening, his mom called me and told me that I was very rude to her son. She said, and I quote, "If someone gives you a gift, you just appreciate it and don't say anything even if it's not that good, especially when it's a kid." Turns out he bought it with his own pocket money and he put a lot of thought into it. He did replace the gift, but he stopped coming over to play with my son. Am I in the wrong? I genuinely didn't mean to upset him. Am I the asshole for packing my kid an inappropriate lunch? I have a son who attends preschool. A few hours after I picked him up from school today, I got a phone call from his teacher. She made absolutely no effort to sound kind when she, in an extremely rude and annoyed tone, told me to stop packing my son such disgusting inappropriate lunches. She added that the lunches I'm packing my son are very distracting for the other students and have an unpleasant odor. I told her that I understand her concerns, as the lunches I pack are definitely not the healthiest, but the lunches are according to my son's preferences. The usual lunch that I send him to school with is small celery sticks with blue cheese and goat cheese, kimchi and spam, and spicy Doritos marinated in sriracha. I know, but he deserves a snack and I don't put that many chips in the bag. I ended the call by saying that I very much appreciated her worries, but that at the end of the day, I'm not going to drastically change my son's lunches all of a sudden, and that it's not my fault if other students are distracted by this meal.
Here's a story time about the time my best friend slept with my man and then slept on my couch for a month. You guys have been begging for this. You're like, tell the story time. How can you edge us like this and not tell the story time? Oh my god. I preface with this was a long time ago, not friends with the girl anymore, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna keep the story time really short and sweet because I normally go into a really elaborative detail about things, but this one still kind of hits home. You know what I mean? The story time basically goes like this. Me and this girl were friends since we were children. The type of friends that you're just acquaintances, like the type of friends where I gave her 2 beds, I would pay for her to do certain things, take her to her appointments because she didn't have a vehicle, got her a job. We were part of a little trio. We had me, her, and this other girl. I'm not even gonna give them fake names because I do not want you guys to find these girls whatsoever. Her and the other girl were closer than me and the other girl were, but me and her were closer than her and the other girl. Does that make sense? But I was under the dumb assumption that it was working. It was so cute, a little trio. It didn't work. Trios don't ever work. One day on a nice little Halloween night, I noticed that she is getting really touchy with my man. And it was okay because I was like, oh my God, I love that my best friend and my man are best friends. It's so fucking cute. We all worked together. So it was just kind of we all spend mad time together. Of course they're close. Then I quit the job, but they didn't. And they kept working together and got even closer. To add a cherry onto the little cake that this is, she was dating my man's best friend. So we had a little double thing going on. Well, on Halloween night, he isn't texting her back and she's drunker than hell. And she's like, I need him. Not talking about her man, talking about mine. She then slept on my couch and left her underwear in my bathroom. And I kind of cried because I was just I know what's going on here. My intuition was clicking. But if I were to bring it up, I'm a nutso bananas bitch. How dare you assume something like that, you nutso bitch? Well, I brought it up anyways because I am a nutso bananas bitch. To which I was gaslit for a month and a half until I found out that the month that she finally got her license, which I had brought her to, she ended up getting a car and went on a little test drive with my old man. Guess what they did in the car? Bet you could guess. A month later, the third friend in our little trio was told about this in confidence. And that friend said, if you don't tell Emily, I'm going to tell her for you. So you better tell her right now. So she was scared into telling me this information, was forced into telling me this information. So when I found out, I called her and I said, I am going to beat your and also steal your man. The rest was history. There's so much more to the story, but I'll get into that on my podcast. I really don't want to talk about it here. I love you guys so much. Bye. I have worked literally 20 different jobs and I want to get into one of the worst experiences I ever had working, and this was at a call center. You're thinking, duh, it's a fucking call center. Of course it sucked, and I'm saying they hired me at $22 an hour, so I really didn't care. I literally went into this job thinking if they're hiring you at this pay, you're gonna love it regardless. Even if you hate it, just stick it out. I didn't understand how absolutely vile working at a call center could be, especially for a phone company, especially when you work in their billing department. When I started this job, we had 4 weeks of full-time training, and so you just really sat in a classroom all day with a bunch of people that were mad cool, and then you don't even answer calls yet. Ultimately, you're getting paid for just sitting there, and it was really cool. So I was like, yes, this is my job. But someday, that training comes to an end, and you have to start answering calls of your very own. This is when I found out I would be in the billing department. If you could think of a department that would probably be the one you get screamed at the most, it'd probably have to be with the one that gets people screwed over the most. My job was essentially telling people why their bill was $1,000 million after having gone out of the country for 2 days. So one day I get a little ring-a-ling, from someone in Texas, and we're not answering phone calls from people in our area. They're all around the world, babe. Because of this, they know they can curse you out and know that they'll never see you in real life. I answer the phone to this little Texan man, and he has an accent like I've never heard. It sounded like satire. First question was, could he speak to someone that didn't have a vagina? I should have just handed the phone over, but I honestly was stubborn, and I was like, no, actually, there's no men on staff in this department, so you're gonna have to speak with me. I tell him this, he kind of de-escalates, and he's just like, all right, ma'am, well, I need to tell you something. I'm like, okay, what's going on here? Starts sobbing uncontrollably and telling me how he had a stroke and has been in the hospital for the past 8 months and how his phone bill is $2,500. Immediately, I empathize with the guy. I'm empathizing with the guy. I'm like, I am so sorry that this happened. Did you call and let us know that you were going to be in the hospital? Did any of your family or friends let us know? And he's like, no, they couldn't. They didn't know anything about my phone company. I call over my manager and I get his phone bill down to $400. That wasn't enough, which I completely understood. Like, I seriously still empathize with the guy. I'm completely empathizing with this guy, but then he starts screaming at me these words, and I'm not even kidding, this is verbatim. I've been eating bologna sandwiches and smoothie food for the past 4 weeks straight. I can't eat and I can't sleep. He then proceeds to tell me that if I don't get the phone bill down to $50, he's going to unalive himself on the phone with me right that second. Obviously, I don't want this to happen. I was 18 at the time, so this was like, I'm a baby. At this point, my billing department job is completely over. I'm just trying to keep this man alive. So I have my coworker come over, look up his information, and call the police to his house. Other coworker is going through his phone records to see if he's actually been off of his phone for the past 8 months, which was like, why do that? That's kind of not the time, not the place. He is describing to me exactly his plan to unalive himself on the phone. Exactly how he was gonna do it.